Welcome back to another episode of the FamBoss Frequency. My name is Chris. I'm your host, and thank you once again for joining us. It's another good episode lined up for today. A nice short. We'll get you in and out and on your way. Ready, set, go. And making it whole. That's right. Every dream making a whole. That's the goal around here. So for my family to yours, I hope you're having a great day, good week. Let's go ahead and rock on out. So today's episode is kind of building on what we talked about yesterday. It's fun to have the conversation about, movement versus momentum. And one of the things that I want to talk about was it's not just about momentum in your business, but momentum in your personal life at home as well. So that's something that needs to be shared across the board. So what we're going to do today is we're going to take a look at, the things that are going on, when you're at home and even at work, and how we can apply some of these principles, the Elon Musk, if you will, of the engineering of life, not just, at work, but also at home. So he's got some really good things that are kind of fascinating because realistically, when you look at, people who are successful, I like to emulate those skill sets. And while every bit of those may not be necessarily for me, I kind of take what I need out of the different things. And it has helped me be a better steward of my time and resources over the years for sure. So let's go ahead and take a look at these 5 requirements that he talks about every single day. So, you have to look at the 5 steps at the office. When you start questioning the 5 things, and these are, the essential steps that we use at the office, this is kind of what we look at. So question every requirement. Number 1, does that mean that 4 o'clock meeting actually need to happen? What are we meeting about? What's the purpose? Or is it something we can do without? If it's an email, we see those memes all the time, could have been an email, make it an email, but cut that out and make that time at 4 o'clock useful for something else. Delete the part or the process. That's number 2. If a task is something you do just because and it serves no purpose, make it go away. Stop doing it. Your time would be better used doing something else. So that is the biggest thing, that's that movement versus momentum thing. Just because your wheels are spinning doesn't mean you're going anywhere. Number 3, simplify or optimize. Only after you've deleted the junk do you make the rest better. So I've always said in sales, if I only have 40 hours a week to sell, I know I have about 32 hours realistically. I'm going to squeeze every second out of everything that can be done in those 40 hours in that week because I know my opportunity is narrow. I don't sales call people on Friday. You know why? Because nobody's paying attention making decisions on Friday. I don't call them on Monday because they're picking up the pieces from, the firestorm from last week and over the weekend. So I know that. So I simplified that part of my life by saying, okay, I have a very narrow window, and that's going to be Monday afternoon till basically Thursday afternoon. So number 4, accelerate your cycle time. Do the work faster so you can get home sooner. If you have nothing left to do at 3:30, why are you still at the office? If you have come to a stopping point, there's nothing left to do, go home. Enjoy yourself. And especially if you have employees, let those people earn their keep, man. Like I said, as long as the shop's not burning down and people aren't who cares? Just let them take the reins. It's what you pay them for. Teach them. Let them make sure they understand. Number 5 is my favorite, automate. We use technology all the time in my business for a number of reasons. The most basic that I can think of is a calendar. An electronic calendar that goes to me and whoever else needs to have access to that. But my wife has a family calendar we've had forever. So Google Calendar. We put everything in there, and my wife and myself and my 2 kids were all on that same little platform. Now my oldest, not so much anymore, but that was the purpose of that calendar, was to make sure that we all knew where we needed to be and we weren't overlapping. So that is just one example of technology. Now we use AI for certain aspects of our business. We use GPS and tracking for obvious reasons. Same thing with, we have quite a bit of software that we use in our CRMs and our books and things like that. But there's a lot of things that we can do to make our businesses operate easier. And we also look to build in our ecosystem to things that, that fit into what we already have. So my CRM, my phone system, my GPS tracking, and my fuel cards, they all talk. And I can get reports on multiple data points. So that is essentially the 5 steps. Question every requirement. Number 1. Number 2, delete the part or process. If you don't need it, you don't need it. Number 3, simplify or optimize. Number 4, accelerate your cycle time. And number 5, automate. Technology is only getting better. We got to jump on board. Otherwise, it's going to be a problem. Now, let's bring that algorithm home. All right. Steps 1 and 2 at home. Question the requirement of your home chore. Do you really need to be the one answering text at 7 p.m.? Delete the requirement of always being available. You don't need to be getting those 7 o'clock text messages about work. You don't need that. Get rid of it. That's not, that also, there's another show we're going to have, it's called teaching your clients how to do business with you. That's I can do an hour on that, but that falls into that. You also need the mental reset. Use the 5-step approach to strip away the mental clutter before you walk through the front door. We already talked about the 5. Remember? Question every requirement, delete the part or process, simplify or optimize, accelerate your timeline, and automate. So go through that process. When you start putting all of these requirements in your day-to-day life, whether it's your work or your home, there's a huge benefit. When you simplify the requirements of your workday, you have more bandwidth for your family. Success isn't just about being a tax ID. It's about being fully present for all of the things in your life that actually matter. My son will graduate one time from high school, I hope. My other son already did. But there are certain things in life you don't get do-overs. You don't get to review those things once they've come and gone, they're done. So that's what is so important. So when you look at the prospect, so our whole intention here, I had a little interruption. The dogs finally broke through and decided they were going to come visit real quick, which is fine. But all of this is to avoid the burnout. And when you start optimizing the process that should have been deleted to start with, then you have that ability to really enjoy what it is that you're doing and not just going through the day-to-day operations of things that may or may not make sense to other people. The reality check, everyone is wrong, including me. Be humble enough to admit when a work habit is killing your home life. That's one that's kind of tough for me as well. One of the philosophies I try to stick with is a thriving business is worthless if your home life is a dead zone. The skills at work, these things work both at home and at work, and they protect your most valuable resource, which is your energy. So keep that in mind when you're trying to, overhaul things and make your life better, not only for you, but for your family and everybody else around you. So I hope some of these things were able to kind of help you guide through some of that. And for me personally, like I said, it's something I've always battled, trying to get that home life balance kind of situated. So success isn't about doing more. It's about doing what matters and deleting the rest. What's one of the requirements in your business that you're going to delete today and make more room for your family life? Hit us up on the old podcast chat line. That's 855-4 podcast, 855-4 podcast. And as always, if you'd like to take a look at some of our GPS and communication solutions, visit us at dccipro.com, or you can also call us at the shop at 855-DCCI-PRO. That's 855-DCCI-PRO, and let us help you take control of your life and your business. Thanks so much for listening. Have a great day.